So it looked like Bria Hartley is going into hiding. And it looked like Bria Hartley is running after news broke about Sophie Cunningham being out for the season.
It felt like the season was lost in one moment. Sophie Cunningham clutching her knee while Hartley walked off smirking. Indiana later confirmed an MCL tear. She's out for the season. While Sophie's family begged the league to step up and protect its players, Hartley seemed to enjoy the chaos instead of showing concern. That reaction alone turned heads, but what followed made things even worse. Clips of Hartley's smirk went viral, and she did something that pointed toward her guilt. What that is, we'll break down in a bit. Is this a sign of things to come for Hartley? Is she trying to clean up her mess now that she's potentially facing a suspension? Do you think this was a dirty play? Let us know down in the comments below. Let's go.
This picture is going viral with Bria Hartley with the sinister grin, right? This malevolent look that's on her face right now. Clearly smiling after injuring Sophie Cunningham, man.
The moment that kept resurfacing wasn't just Sophie on the ground. It was what the cameras caught immediately after. As trainers moved toward Cunningham, a replay angle showed Hartley looking back with what many described as a grin. That single freeze frame circulated non-stop across social feeds and quickly became the centerpiece of the outrage. Fans weren't dissecting the collision so much as that expression, replaying it, pausing it, and insisting it revealed everything about intent.
Is the play that just occurred.
That's like she tries to slide over right there, and Hartley just kind of falls and makes collision with that lower leg. You see her immediately grab it. And she went down hard and was clearly in a lot of pain.
The play itself looked chaotic. Up until that point, both teams had traded baskets and kept the pace tight. Then Hartley barreled in at an awkward angle, crashing into Sophie's planted leg. She collapsed, immediately clutching her knee, and the arena seemed to hold its breath. But the online conversation told a different story, fueled by clipped highlights of Hartley's reaction.
Oh, and Cunningham is down. My goodness. Should be. In a scary moment as we went to commercial, Sophie Cunningham hit the floor hard and she is being helped off the floor, heading back to the locker room.
Context pushed that conversation even further. Hartley already had a reputation that gave fans reason to question her judgment. In recent seasons, she'd been ejected from games after physical run-ins. And, most infamously, she was involved in a heated incident with Angel Reese that included a hair pull.
Atkins, 7 to shoot. Cardoso rolls, catch. Cardoso over the top, can't get it. Reese fights for the rebound, and a foul, and this time gets a little chippy, and a shove on Nelson Adota. And listen, this arena, typically we'll see some ringside fights.
So when a smirk appeared on camera just seconds after Sophie's injury, those past altercations became part of the debate. People felt they were seeing a pattern, even if there was no official ruling on intent.
So Mike put this up about an hour ago. He said to all of those defending Bria Hartley, look at what she liked on Instagram. Emo, she's the dirtiest player in the league and should be kicked out. Most recently, Sophie Cunningham has been hurt with the knee tear and is out for the season. Look at this. Look at this. Now, Bria is the definition of consistency. Now, this is her liking this. This is her liking this post. Y'all see that? Breezy, 1414, and others. Bria is the definition. She's liking this post. Look at this. Death taxes and Bria Hartley always being at the scene of the crime. Now, that's her choke slamming Angel Reese.
Still, the injury changed everything. This wasn't just a scare that Sophie could walk off. Tests confirmed she suffered an MCL tear and would miss the rest of the season. What might have been parsed as unfortunate basketball contact suddenly became the flashpoint for a larger conversation about player safety and accountability.
Sophie Cunningham, let's be clear here. Sophie Cunningham was targeted. Let's be very, very clear here. But Sophie Cunningham was flat out targeted by a dirty, dirty player.
And yet, before any official league response landed, it wasn't analysts or referees driving the outrage. It was Sophie's family members who felt they had no choice but to speak up. Their reaction raised an even harder question. Why did the responsibility to demand protection fall on them rather than the referees who were holding the whistle in the first place? What made this moment stand out even more was how quickly Sophie's family stepped forward when many expected the officials or the league to take the lead. The most visible reaction came from her sister Lindsay, whose post on X spread rapidly. She wrote, "Maybe you should focus less on finding players for commenting on your poor officiating and more about hiring officials that are able to call a consistent game and protect your athletes." Pathetic. That direct criticism resonated because it wasn't just family emotion. It echoed frustrations players and fans had already been voicing all season.
Maybe you should focus, her sister. Maybe you should focus less on finding players for commenting on your poor officiating and more about hiring officials that are capable to call a consistent game and protect your athletes. Pathetic. Praying for you. The only good thing positive surrounding Sophie Cunningham coming out of this game, she looked in good spirits in the locker room.
The sting behind Lindsay's words was amplified by the fact that Sophie herself had already been fined earlier in the year for criticizing officiating on her podcast and social media. That history made Lindsay's phrasing land even harder, as she pointed out what many saw as upside-down priorities. Players punished with real fines for speaking out, while questionable contact on the floor didn't bring immediate accountability. In that light, her post wasn't just about her sister's injury. It pointed to a recurring disconnect between the league's stated values and how games were actually being overseen.
Bria Hartley deserves zero benefit of the doubt. And Sophie Cunningham's family not too happy. I believe this is Mama C. Hartley is a disgruntled player having trouble everywhere she goes. She's playing mean and plays out of control. Looked out of control to me.
Their mother, Paula Cunningham, added to the fire with a blunt message of her own, calling Hartley disgruntled and plain mean. Though she later deleted the post, the fact that it came from someone personally invested in Sophie's well-being gave the criticism a weight social media commenters alone could not. Fans took it as confirmation that what they were reading into Hartley's reaction wasn't just imagined, it was felt by the family closest to the player who got hurt. Once the message was deleted, it only spread more rapidly, with screenshots fueling further debate about intent, accountability, and whether this kind of frustration coming straight from a player's family might push the league to act faster.
Indiana Fever fans wake up pissed off today. Pissed off. Not only are we getting assaulted, but they're smiling about it. This is the 6th time they've smiled, laughed, and cheered on our Indiana Fever players getting assaulted, getting injured. And it pisses me off.
Meanwhile, the refereeing itself remained a focal point. Critics didn't just question the collision, but also the delayed response in stopping play once it was clear Sophie was down. That night became another data point in a long-running conversation about officiating standards, with noted complaints from other players and coaches earlier in the season about inconsistency from game to game. The Cunningham family's comments captured what many around the league had already been saying publicly. The lack of reliable standards left players vulnerable to unnecessary risks.
Making all kind of excuses to say that Bria Hartley is not a dirty player. Let me tell y'all something, man. Come on in here. Come on in here, man. Let me tell y'all something. If it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, eats like a duck, it's a duck, man. Come on, man. She is the dirtiest player in the WNBA right now, winning the trophy. All right, winning the trophy for it. Don't sit here and try to tell me Bria Hartley is not a dirty player.
As the discussion grew, attention naturally shifted toward the people at the top of the league structure. Fans and family members alike called on Commissioner Kathy Engelbert and the league office to establish clearer protection protocols and stronger accountability when referees miss critical moments. Media outlets picked up the story quickly, framing it as part of a larger debate about both safety and leadership in the WNBA. While Sophie's family was voicing anger and the league faced mounting questions, Indiana as a team still had to finish the night on the court. What happened next was a reminder of how a season can flip in a single evening, not just because of what was lost, but because of the resilience that followed.
I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of you too. Proud of you. I'm so proud of you guys. I know that sometimes it sounds like just a word when we talk about being resilient, but it's not, man. It's how we live. Yep. It's how y'all live, and it's a tribute to you. It's a tribute to your connectedness, your togetherness, your toughness, your mindset. You never give up gritty attitudes. Like, that's what it takes. That's what it takes. And
Indiana's night didn't just continue, it transformed. With Sophie ruled out and Caitlin Clark unavailable, the Fever looked overmatched on paper. Yet, by the time the final buzzer sounded, they had fought all the way back to shock the league. What began as a bench stretched thin ended in a record-breaking comeback that no one in that arena will forget.
we will never be counted out, because that is worth gold. That is worth gold. Kels, goddamn baby. Put us on your back. Oh, big time.
At halftime, that outcome felt impossible. Indiana trailed by 21 points, their offense sputtering, and their defense unable to keep up with quick rotations from the other side. Broadcasters framed the night around survival, not victory, and fans braced themselves for a blowout. But inside the huddle, something shifted. The team closed ranks, adjusted rotations, and leaned on grit rather than panic. Kelsey Mitchell was the centerpiece of that turnaround. She exploded after the break, finishing with 38 points, 34 of them in the second half, along with 6 assists. Every shot she knocked down chipped away at the deficit and gave the Fever a chance to breathe. Her performance carried weight, not just statistically, but emotionally. Without Sophie and Caitlin, Mitchell became the unlikely leader willing to drag her team back into contention.
An assassin, Kelsey Mitchell, has a new career high. Backdoor Mitchell bouncing in the paint for 2. Kelsey Mitchell, the big is matched up. Mitchell squeezing through for 2 and the foul. Fouls on the other end. It's Mitchell launching it and connecting.
The lift didn't rest on her shoulders alone. Odyssey Sims provided steady control of the floor, cutting down turnovers, slowing the pace when needed, and making sure possessions ended with good looks. She calmed the team in moments when frustration could have beaten them.
Mabry knifes off the screen. Charles is doubled.
And Indiana looks like they're in a zone right now.
Kick out and stolen by Mitchell. Explodes 2-on-1. Sims elevates for 2 and a foul.
Bug with their point guards. This is where you have Odyssey Sims coming in. Kelsey Mitchell making a great heads-up play here, but Odyssey Sims has done a great job early on coming in.
Right alongside her, Aaliyah Boston dominated the paint, posting a double-double that gave Indiana the balance they needed. Her rebounding and interior defense stopped second-chance opportunities and bought space for Mitchell's scoring runs to matter.
Boston backs down Hartley. Aaliyah Boston, excellent post position. Picks up the dribble. Shot clock winding down to 7. Mabry, lob pass. Charles catches. No foul call. That's a huge no call. Looks for cutters. Charles the defense. Back on to Boston. Tina Charles. Backdoor Mitchell pouncing in the paint for 2. 30 points for Mitchell. That's the 4th on Charles.
Can't get caught ball watching right there. Great recognition by Boston as Mitchell makes that backdoor cut.
As the second half played out, the crowd's energy rose with each possession. Loose balls started bouncing Indiana's way. Defensive sets looked sharper. And suddenly, the scoreboard inched closer. By the fourth quarter, the team that had looked dead in the water was running on adrenaline and precision. When the horn sounded on a 99-93 win, Indiana had not only erased a 21-point hole, but set the mark for the largest comeback in franchise history.
Shot clock down to 6 for the Fever. Turner, up fade. Turner kicks it. Hole three-pointer. Bottom!
Indiana's just...
The victory framed one side of the story, but off the court Hartley became the focal point for an entirely different reason. After the viral clip of her smirk circulated, she appeared to make her social media accounts private, and in some cases, they were deleted altogether. That move fueled speculation. Is she about to quit? Is something big happening to her soon? Rumors have circulated of a pending investigation and suspension for her streak of dirty plays.
Bria Hartley has privated all her social media accounts. Now, this is coming off news breaking about Sophie Cunningham being out for the season. Now, we know there has been people kind of investigating this whole situation with Bria Hartley. And y'all know what I like to say is looking real spooky for Bria Hartley right now.
And while Hartley pulled back from the spotlight, Sophie was preparing to do the opposite. Injured or not, she wasn't about to let the moment pass without making her voice heard. Sophie's reaction in the days after the injury showed just how determined she was to control the narrative. She didn't retreat from the spotlight or leave others to speak on her behalf. Instead, she put her own voice at the center of the conversation. That choice set her apart from most players in her position, because rather than staying quiet throughout recovery, she spoke directly to the controversy and made it clear she wanted her perspective represented.
Well, you come at Sophie's sister, you come at Sophie. And Sophie saw this comment, and bless her heart, she answered it. She answered it. Some of us were raised by the words of, quote, don't bite off more than you can chew. And some of us didn't. Quote, F around and find out. F around and find out. Kiss. God bless this woman. Yeah, seriously. She's great.
Her first move was short but commanding. She went online and posted, F around and find out. It was blunt, but it resonated. The message wasn't random, nor was it aimed at Bria Hartley specifically. It was directed at critics, at those dismissing her toughness, and at people who questioned whether Indiana would hold together without her on the court. Fans picked up on it immediately, circulating it across WNBA discussions until it became one of the most talked-about posts of the week. More than anything, it came across as a defiant response, a way of telling people that despite her injury, neither she nor her team was going to be disrespected or written off.
But that's hilarious. That this hater out there, and there's a lot of them right now. I said yesterday they're mad because Sophie's being called a superstar and this and that and the other. Yeah, Sophie's got more pull than your Asia Wilson. I mean, Asia's on this monumental run. I literally wouldn't have known that if I hadn't stumbled across somebody that said, well, the WNBA is making Asia Wilson's late season MVP push. Sometimes, I mean, you just got to pay attention. The WNBA wants to protect certain people and certain players.
But Sophie also made it clear there was more nuance to the situation. On her podcast, she surprised some fans by explicitly defending Hartley. She said straight out that she didn't think Bria meant to injure her, adding that the two were friends, super cool, and that she had nothing but love for her. For those who had only seen the viral clip of Hartley smirking, Sophie's words complicated the outrage. At the same time, her FAFO post was aimed less at her opponent and more at the conversation swirling around her family and her toughness. In other words, she gave Hartley the benefit of the doubt, but didn't give the same courtesy to the critics or to a league that had fined her 3 separate times for speaking out about officiating earlier in the season.
I know Bria, and I'm actually really good friends with Bria, and I had been waiting to get on the pod and so we could talk about this because I did want to tweet it out, but I don't think that there was no ill intent. I think it was basketball play. I was just in the wrong spot at the wrong time. She fell. Like, there's no way that she would go in there and potentially try to hurt me. And so I had nothing but love for Bria. And I even told my mom, because she tweeted something. I was like, no, Mom, I get it. But I promise you that I was like, Bria and I are super cool. And she would never try to hurt me. Because there are some girls that I think might, but she wouldn't do that. And so I have nothing but love. And so I hope people stop giving Bria some heat, because I don't think she meant to do that at all.
That history helped explain her tone. She, more than most players, knew what it felt like to be punished for using her platform. When she called out officiating months earlier, the league fined her. But by combining a defiant public statement with a measured explanation on her podcast, she showed she wasn't just reacting emotionally. She was establishing her own stance while defending her family's dignity. Fans rallied behind her. Fever supporters filled social media with encouragement while highlighting her willingness to speak up, even injured. What might have been remembered only as a bad night for Indiana turned into a rallying cry because Sophie transformed her setback into leadership. This balance, defiant on social media, thoughtful on her podcast, kept her voice central and shifted pressure back toward the league. And as her response spread, it framed the bigger takeaway from the entire incident. Indiana wasn't folding, and their fight was just beginning. Sophie confirmed the reality, an MCL tear that ends her season. Meanwhile, the video of Hartley's smirk spread everywhere. And not long after, Hartley's social accounts were reportedly made private. For Indiana, the night carried its own proof of resilience. Kelsey Mitchell's 38 points powered a 21-point comeback, the biggest in franchise history. So now it's your turn. Do you think the officials failed to protect players, or was this just bad luck? Is Hartley trying to clean up her mess now that she's potentially facing a suspension? Do you think this was a dirty play? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to send well wishes for Sophie in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.